So I am getting irritated, to put it very mildly, about how narrow the Overton window is on the abortion issue. A couple of years ago, Ealing Council got my goat because they had a group called the Good Counsel Network who were peacefully campaigning outside of their abortion clinic, and they were offering information, they were offering counselling for women who would change their minds, they were offering practical support like money and housing for women who would change their minds. And they had all of these women who had changed their minds thanks to the Good Counsel Network intervention, and were so grateful and relieved that they hadn't gone through with killing their children. And the media were reporting it that the Good Counsel Network were harassing people. They were holding prayer vigils, and the media were reporting that they were showing graphic images. They were showing images of babies inside the womb. The single most amazing pictures that man can take, other than the kind of images that we get of space. And this weekend, a pro-life group, the UK wing of the Campaign for Bioethical Reform, put up some posters in Walthamstow. Now, they've been running a campaign, #StopStella, which, is aimed at informing the local populace about the kind of actions that their MP, Stella Creasy, is involved in with regards to abortion. Generally educating people on the issue and providing a perspective that is different to the one that everybody else has. Everybody who has a platform. Everybody in Parliament. And they actually, Stella Creasy, when the billboards went up, and the billboards had a 9-week-old fetus in the womb, and it said, and a picture of Stella Creasy, and it said, your MP is campaigning your MP, supports me not having human rights, or something like that, your MP doesn't believe in my human rights, something like that. And Stella's first port of call was to complain to the Metropolitan Police and ask them to use the public spaces protection orders that they used in Ealing against CBR UK. And they didn't. They said that, sorry, it's free speech. Unlucky. But then she targeted the Clear Channel UK, I think they're called, who owned the billboard that the billboards that the posters went up on, and they apologised profusely and publicly and painted over the posters. And it's just like, the pro-abortionists say that pro-life people infantilise women by wanting to take their choices away, but that's a straw man of the pro-life position, because a lot of pro-life people don't even want to go so far as taking women's right to abortion away. They just want to educate and inform women on the gravity of the decision they're about to make. In a climate where people are #shoutmyabortioning and you know, it's just a clump of cells and all this kind of stuff, you know. And it's like, it's wrong. It's wrong to underplay how affecting that decision can be for women for the rest of their lives. You know, it's wrong to not be honest about the fact that, you know, these are human beings full of potential, and, you know, that, I mean, the most vulnerable human beings in the world. I find it very sad, you know. And then in New South Wales and Australia, they've just legalised abortion. So it's legal up to 22 weeks for like elective abortions, which is 2 weeks less than you can just decide to have an abortion in the UK, which is ridiculous because at 24 weeks, so many babies are viable outside of the womb. And you know what was disturbing about that is the response of the pro-abortion MPs cheering and hugging, and it's like, if you think it should be legal, that's one thing, but it's a tragic thing that happens and disturbing, and you should solemnly accept the result, you know, not cheer and holler. Like, I mean, when they legalised it in Northern Ireland, Jesus, there were people out on the streets, it was like a carnival, there were children there, you know, and I was like, why do those children think they're there? Either they don't know, which is kind of weird, or they do, and children shouldn't know about abortion. They shouldn't know that people, you know, women choose to kill their babies. That's horrendous. You know, as far as I'm concerned, women are mammals, and mammals kill their children. And I hope that before too long we have a better solution. You know, I don't think it's right to force women to go through pregnancies they don't want. You know, I do think that women will kill their children regardless of whether it's legal or not, and therefore, you know, we do need to make it as safe as possible. I hope that in the future we will look back and go, oh my God, what barbarism. How could people kill human beings on a whim because they weren't convenient? And I think, you know, that will come with a variety of measures. So, you know, artificial wombs. Also, Hungary has like, what are the figures? They've reduced their rate of abortion drastically just by introducing pro-family policies like tax breaks for married couples, maternity leave, stuff like that. So that is something I can absolutely get behind if it saves human lives, you know, and hopefully insulates families as well. Then that's a great thing. But yeah, I resent terribly the fact that, you know, we can't talk about this issue. It's like It's not about whether women have the right or not to kill their children. That is my fundamental, primary, first concern. My first concern is whether we as a society are allowed to have a meaningful conversation about it, and at the moment we're not. And that's got to change.